everyone, today I want to talk about The Last Guardian for PS4. Now this is a game that's been around for a couple of years now. It's not brand new or anything, but I got it I think for Christmas a couple of years ago, and I played about halfway through, and just recently I was able to kind of put it in again and finish it up. So I wanted to talk about it because this is a quite interesting game, I think. Now, for those of you who have played the Shadow Colossus and Ico on the old PS2, this game might feel very familiar to you because it's made by pretty much the same team. Well, the same lead designer kind of had control of the project as far as I know. And his name is Fumito Ueda. And he's kind of got like a little cult following, I guess, in terms of like game designers and stuff. Because all his games are very unique feeling, and each one of them is really a work of art. Actually haven't played much of Ico, but I have played Shadow of the Colossus when it was brand new. I remember getting it, and I was just blown away by it. You know, you're jumping on these huge creatures, and you know, in this game you're having to kill them. And in The Last Guardian, you're actually friends with one of these huge creatures. Now, it's not in the same world as Shadow of Colossus or anything, but it's got a similar vibe to it. Like, you get those feelings of just kind of being in like a world all by yourself and just your companion, and you're pretty much having to go up against everything that comes at you. And this game, I would say, it's not like an adventure game, so to speak. I mean, it kind of is, but you're not like getting new items and leveling up and, you know, trying to find keys for doors and stuff like that. I would say it's more of like an adventure puzzle game, or maybe even like like an action puzzle game, I guess. Because you're really confined in this little world, and you know, you're not able to run around helter-skelter, you know, free world basically. You're pretty much having to go through a set path for you. And what you do actually is you control this little boy here, and what you're trying to do is get through this dungeon basically with the help of this monster that you've met. And the interesting thing about it is they did a really, really good job with the AI on this monster. You first meet him as a little boy, and he's ready to kill you, basically. And you basically befriend him over a little bit of time, and then he starts to trust you, and you can, you know, kind of start moving through the game with him, because you're both trying to escape this horrible place that you're in. And the atmosphere of the game is quite different, I'd say. It's like, oh, what would be a good word? It's like kind of whimsical and dark. And that's the only thing that I would say might not be good for little kids. The game's actually rated teen, but I would probably have no problem. I would have no problem having my kids play it and just, let them get a little scared of this world. There's kind of some messed up things happening in the game, but not enough to where I'd say, okay, this is like an adult game. And overall, I'd say it's kind of like even though I'm 41 and I'm playing it and enjoying it, I'd say it's probably geared more for like, I don't know, like 10 to 20-year-olds maybe. But, it's for everyone, I'd say. And, as I was saying, the AI of this monster, it's just the way they were able to program him. You actually feel like he's alive. And just like all the actions that he's doing around you and the way he's acting and kind of interacting with you and interacting with the game environment, they did a really top-notch job. And I've watched some other reviews and they actually complain about it. They say, well, I'm riding around on this monster and he doesn't always do exactly what I want him to do, and it's just got frustrating after a while. And I'm kind of thinking, well, that's kind of what made the game feel alive to me, is because, if you've ever had a pet and you're trying to get this, say you have a dog or a cat, you're trying to get the cat or dog to do something, it's not very easy. You can't just tell him to do it, he's going to do it. You got to kind of persuade him, I guess, in certain ways. But it's kind of the same way with this huge monster. So you're having to go get this monster to do things, and also having the boy do things to get through these dungeons, basically. And there's what I'd just say is a arrangement of puzzles. Not like cheap little block puzzles like you find in a lot of games, but like serious puzzles that you have to think really outside the box for to get. And for instance, one of them is this really weird one. I had trouble with this one. I remember you are marching around with the monster kind of through this it's like a building, but it's made out of wood and the floors are wood. And if I remember right, you fall through the floor and your buddy can't get to you to pull you out, and you kind of land in this big pool of water. And what you have to figure out is, okay, how do you get out of this water and back up to the main floor where your monster buddy is? And you have to find a box to float on. I remember, because there's water down on the floor. So you float on the water in the box, and your monster up ahead of you is like whining and growling and stuff, and he finally kind of busts a hole in the floor if you have him kind of march along back and forth enough. It's kind of weird to explain, but basically you have to wait for him to make this hole, and then wait for him to kind of drop his tail down into the hole so you can climb up his tail and get out of this place. And I just thought, wow, how on earth did they even think of this? Because it sounds kind of lame the way I describe it, but when you're actually playing it, you're like, dang, this was kind of weird. That's a really good puzzle. And there's little things like that all throughout the game where, you're just looking around and you cannot figure out how to advance to the next dungeon or whatnot. And you really just gotta stop and look around and just think of every option that's available. And sometimes you'll get stuck. It's even though I think the game's more geared for younger people, some of the puzzles really tricked me. But I only had to look online once, I think, to figure out a puzzle. And that was the one I just described. But all the other puzzles were just designed very well, I thought. And if you like puzzle games, you're definitely going to like this game. Even though it's got a very different way of playing puzzles. And this dog, or he's kind of he's like a half bird, half dog, half goat. He's very strange looking, and he's covered with feathers, and he's kind of disgusting actually. And you're having to crawl around on him a lot to to be able to get to like higher levels. A lot of the game is you see something up above you that you can't get to, so you got to call your monster over, crawl up his back, and then get on his head and jump to the level above you. So you're spending a lot of time just kind of trying to get the huge monster to work with you. And that's a very interesting thing about this game. And not only that, but just, the uniqueness of a title like this is something I really like. You're not going to see very many games like this at all. I don't think I've ever seen a game like this, actually, where it's just designed the way it is. And just like the graphics I thought were quite good for PS4, and also the sound is pretty well done. Also, it's like haunting music. There's not a lot of music in the game, actually, but it comes on like right at the right times to kind of make the suspense grow more, or make you feel excited, or like you feel like, oh crap, I'm gonna die right now. And there's a lot of that happening, and it kind of makes you tense a little bit. So yeah, I definitely recommend this game. I gotta say, it's not for everyone, but if you enjoyed, especially if you enjoyed like Shadow of the Colossus, I think you'll enjoy this one a lot. And I will see you guys next time. Oh, if you want to buy it, it's like not that expensive anymore. You find it brand new for $20 online, I'm sure. And they got one of these little reversible covers on it, so you can see. This is the reverse cover I have here. Yeah, it's a nice little package. And I think they made a collector's edition for it too. I'm not sure what's in that, but if you're interested, you can look. So that's it for today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
얘들한테보 야그도 유리 야노즈 야로테 아우 유군 야 아카스티아타